Hey ladies and gents, it's Zem back, and we are doing the very first Xsotan artifact hunt. There's 8 of them to you need to get to enter the I'll bring it up on the galaxy map here, to enter the center of the galaxy. There is this, what they call the barrier, around the outside of the center here. You cannot get across this barrier unless you find a gateway, which is this one right here. This is the portal gateway, and I'll show that to you when we get all 8 of them. And you have to activate essentially a jump bridge to jump to the center of the galaxy. To find all of these, you have to start out. Obviously, there's a first, a second, a third, fourth, whatever. You don't have to do these in order. I'm just going to show you the first one. This is probably one of the easiest ones to get. Other than to require a few components. You're going to have some ship systems that work, or a decent sized ship to do it. That you don't actually have to have any combat involved unless you jump into a pirate sector and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it is kind of a long trip, and I won't be diving it because it takes you to the outside edge of the galaxy map. So what you're going to be looking for, of course, here is what they call a beacon. Now, this beacon, you don't need a detector or anything to find this. Every time you jump into a system that has one of these beacons, they're already highlighted. All you have to do is click on them, like so. There we go. And once you click on them, you push F to interact. And this message will come up and says the participants of the Exodus, and it'll give you a coordinate number. This is the X equals -36. All right, so you have to jump around until you find a Y coordinate that is the number 71, right? And if you match the numbers up to 71, and so that'll give you a Y coordinate. So you get an X coordinate and a Y coordinate, and that's the place where you have to go to continue with your search. And I'm going to do this in a titanium ship, just because this is probably what you're going to have at about this time. Is this one of these kind of ships here? So I got, for some reason, these guys decide to jump in, and they're going to fuck with me. So we're just going to blow them up here. And this is not, I'm not going to take my big ship out into this one because it's kind of cheating a little bit. It'll only take me a couple minutes to get there. Probably not even that. There is a, what do you call it, about somewhere around 70 some sectors I can jump with one of my big ships. This one is a little bit smaller, this being the Graf Spee. Yeah, we have a hyperspace reach of 12.5 sectors. So it's not the best. Like I said, this is a titanium cruiser, so it does not ever really leave this system. But I'm just going to give you kind of an idea how long it takes to do this stupid. I shouldn't say stupid. It's just a long process here. This one right here, like I said, this my main ship here, Durandal. That's got like 75 or 80. It can jump, so it doesn't take very long to do this mission. And the great thing about this, since this game is procedurally generated, you can do this mission over and over again and keep getting these purple keys or purple artifacts. So you can get, anywhere from, how many do I have here? I've literally have dozens of these. Some of these are already mounted on ships. But yeah, so this is number 8. There's 8 again. There's 7. There's 6. Each of them have a bonus. So you can keep doing these missions over and over again, and you can just keep piling up these artifacts, right? So there's always that there's always that thing. Since they give great bonuses, you want to try to get as many as you can, or as often as you can. So we've got our X coordinate, and since I've already found out, for the most part, where these are, or I should say, I've already got enough of these looked up here. So we're going to look at our thing here. We got 71X is -36, and we got a 71Y at 402. Or we can go to X 455 or Y 44 -44. So this is, these spawn quite often, right? So we're going to go to the X 36 402. So we're going to look at galaxy map. We got to go with -36. And where are we at here? 36, and then down to 402. And this is going to be our starting point for looking at, and you can already tell that I'm already a ways away from here. Okay, there's 402, -6, 402. We're going to enter the coordinates. Let's tag that, I should say. Tag that sector, and that's where I'm headed. So that's going to be our first starting point for this little journey. Could take a while. But, you know, that's what I'm talking about with making these ships. You want to make sure you have enough jump range to do this here. So I'm going to drop a few more in here. We're going to do another 5. And then I got one in here that's a little bit better than that. Arm turrets. So when you do this, like I said, you want to make sure that you have... I already got that one installed. You want to make sure you have enough jump range in your ship that you're not going to spend a whole bunch of time doing this. Otherwise, like I said, you're going to spend an exorbitant amount of time jumping all the way out there. You know, like I said, this is a titanium ship. I only got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 slots here. So like I said, titanium ship, you could do this. It will just take a very long time. We're simply if we add another 4 to that one, and we can look at how far we can get out now. And of course, this is going to take a little bit of time to get down to here. So once you get down to here, this will continue to take you all the way out, probably out into here before you finally get to that point. Yeah, but then again, I'll be honest, I've already did this a couple times, and I've did it with iron ships and titanium ships. It takes a long fucking time. We're just going to do this. You know what? Fuck it. We are going to cheat a little bit here. We're going to use the big ship with a much larger range. I just want to show you how to get there and what you got to do and that kind of stuff here. So we're going to roll by here, Durndal. We're going to pick up this big guy, and we're going to look at the yeah, so I can already make it in almost one jump. Almost. It just takes a little bit of time. And this has no cooldown either, so I'm not going to be sitting here for a whole bunch of time while I do this. But yeah, you can definitely do this in a titanium ship, and you can definitely do it in an iron ship if you want to spend the time. This is, like I said, once you find a couple of those, and those beacons that I showed you, they pop up all over the place. They can be in sectors, in unmarked sectors, they can be in green sectors, they can be in yellow sectors. It doesn't matter. You can find them, and once you find them, you got to get, like I said, you got to get 2 of them together. Obviously, with the with this, you got to be able to get the number 11 or number 74 and number 74. This gives you 2 numbers, number 71 and number 70, or number 71, number 71, and gives you 2 numbers. You just got to be able to go to that. So you might have to jump around a few times to find these. You know, the beacons I just showed you what they look like. But once you jump into sector, you will find them, and that's what you will see is that beacon. You interact with it. It gives you a set of numbers, or a set of coordinates, and you're ready to go. I did this the very first time I played this game. I did this with a ship that only had a 10-sector jump. It literally took me fucking, I don't know, 3 hours maybe to jump all the way out to the edge to get it, and I fought pirates and all kinds of bullshit to get there before I got there. You want to make sure you also have installed a radar upgrade. This is going to give you, essentially, like I said earlier, when you're looking at this, the green sectors, right? So when you're doing this, you're not going to be having a real big jumps range unless you wait till later on to get it, you know, with something like what I got. So you want to be jumping into these green sectors, right? I don't have a problem jumping into it because of the sheer firepower that my ship carries and shields. There's nothing out here I can jump into that I can't get away from or beat the fuck out of. However, if you're jumping in here with something that you just built or just is relatively small, you want to be staying inside those green sectors as you make your way out here. So, of course, you have to have the radar upgrade to find the green sectors and stay out of the yellow ones, right? So, remember that, because you will, if you do have to jump a spot, if you reach out here and you cannot find any green, you're going to have to jump, and you're going to have to take the chance that you're going to land into an unmarked sector that has pirates, and then you're going to be sitting there going, well, what the fuck? So you got to make sure you have a ship that's strong enough to survive a little bit of this. So of course, we're only going to be mostly in the iron to titanium range, so you're not going to have to deal with anything like super powerful. But it's something to remember when you're jumping in and out of this. So mission updated, Operation Exodus, and we'll get to the next one here. We'll interact with him, and we got -70, 398, and those are our next two numbers. See, now once you get those two first numbers together, from now on, it always gives you the right coordinates. And in fact, once they give you the right coordinates, it'll actually mark it on here for your map with a little question mark. That's where you got to go. So here we go. Once again, back at it. I know I said I was going to start out doing it, but you know, fuck it, it's Sunday. I'm not going to spend all day jumping all the way out to the edge of the deal with a titanium ship. I hope you guys are having a good time playing this game. This game still gets me sucked in quite often. You know, once I can start playing it, I'm just like, shit. How can I not get sucked into this game? But then you get into it, and you're just like, you know, I got to do this, this, and this. And we got our ship project updated here. We got another one. Let's jump up here and see what he tells us. F to interact. Oops. And -1 421. So, there we go. So once again, oops, right next to it. Yep, there we go. So that's the next place we're going to jump to. And you just keep following these beacons, right? These beacons will take you all the way out, of course, to the final spot where you're going to pick up the very first Xsotan. Where you're going to pick up the very first Xsotan artifact, which is going to, of course, be it's going to have a single scratch on it, right? And now, since they've changed what these things used to do, they used to be all of these artifacts gave you 5+ turrets, unarmed and armed. Now they've changed them, and they all have a different speciality now. This one, the very first one you picked up, is going to be a key that opens up ancient gateways so you can travel different distances than natural wormholes. So these gateways, you're going to find them in empty systems and all that kind of stuff, but you need this key to open them up. So once you get this key, it's going to, of course, open up the travel quite a bit easier than what it was before. Yeah, so that's a special thing that this key does. The very first key. This is what it does. So what do we got here? We got some wreckage. Ooh, got a bunch of wreckage here. Nothing. Some Xanian. Yeah. So what you're doing is following. When the Xsotan showed up in the center of the galaxy, these people fled, right? So that's why you're finding Xsotan, or not Xsotan, Xanian, way the fuck out here, right? There's no way there should be Xanian out here. Essentially, what you're doing is you're following their lead of when they fled. So their ships got blown up as they were running away from the Xsotan, and these are the parts that you're going to find. However, once again, with the mining lasers and all that stuff, you're not going to be able to mine these lasers or mine these wrecks early in the game. If you're just at the Iron Titanium, you're not going to be able to mine these wrecks and get any Xanian out of them because of the way the mining lasers work. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So jump again here, and we're getting pretty close. We got probably 5 more jumps at least before we can get out of here. And like I said, these are all probably Xanian wrecks. So they're going to be something you can't get if you are not at the Xanian level. If you're at the Neonite, or I should say the Trinium level, you're probably fine. But at that point, you're already like, well, you're already into that part of the galaxy. You're going to be able to go mine it yourself. So here we go. We're going to follow these guys. I can't remember the actual name of who they call themselves. But we're following them, right? So they fled the center of the galaxy due to the Xsotan blowing everybody up. And they were running. They're heading out to the edge of the galaxy until at some point or another that the Xsotan are defeated, or they're going to get somebody to come and get them. And maybe that's me. I don't know. I'm like the savior, possibly. I'm not sure why it's taking so long to freaking calculate these small jumps. These are not really that far. There we go. These are not really that far. That's the big thing about it is I have no cooldown, my jump cooldown, but I still have to wait for the stupid jump to process. So, find the next one. Come on, where are you, buddy? There we go. Interact. 230, 369. Find out where that's on the map. And we'll just keep jumping out there. So there's the next one. Like I said, I could go so much further, but unfortunately I have to, I have to keep following these until they lead me to the right sector. There is from what I understand, there is 2 bugs. One of the bugs is that it'll be a sector that has essentially been destroyed and you can't even get to it. And another one, when you get to the actual place to get the artifact, it might not be there and you have to start all over. Apparently these 2 bugs happen, so remember that if you get out there and you can't find it, and you're just like, well, what the fuck, you'll know why, because it's apparently bugged. So wait for the next cooldown, and we'll go. Let's do a little record. Let's see how fast I get this bugger running. And we're up to 2,500 meters. We'll cool off a little bit here. 2860. And we're going to give her another boost. Let's see, we'll get up to 4,000 meters maybe. And we'll lay off a little bit so we don't use up too much energy. And then we're going to boost again. I think I might have got this up to 7,000 meters a couple times a second. It's kind of neat that you can actually do this in open space and not have to worry about running into a stupid... there's 6. Would I keep boosting though? Unfortunately, you'll get so far and then it won't let you really keep the boost speed up. I'm going to run out of energy here pretty quick, I think. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe not as quick as I thought it was. There we go. Let's see if I can get to 7,000 meters a second. Nope, I can't quite get to 7. I had a ship at one time that could get almost 8, actually, depending on the size, I guess. But still, 6,000 meters a second. That's fucking moving. Let's see here. Oh, next, there he is. Come on. Sometimes you wonder, right? You're flying these battleships around, or you're finding these battle cruisers around, you're just like, really? With the best scanner in the world, you still have to click on it? You can't just like automatically click on it? Alright, so we found the next one. Alright, so we're starting to get close to the outside edge. And I'll be like I said, I'll be honest, you're going to end up being probably on the outside edge of the block, way the fuck out here, before you get to the final one. Just a slow process. And like I said, can you imagine doing this in a ship with 20 or even 15 or 20 jump range? And then you actually have a then you have a cooldown and all that kind of stuff. Plus you'd be jumping sectors. I'm jumping from point to point and there's no pirates, but you're going to be at some point have to jump sectors. Since I can jump so far, if you were doing this yourself, you would be jumping, okay, maybe you might be able to get to here, right? And then you'd have to jump again to get here, and then you'd have to jump again. So you would have to be jumping into these sectors you don't know what the fuck is in here, right? There could be yellows, the greens, and all that kind of stuff, either and, or could be a bad news for you when you jump in there. So it is, I mean, it's one of the easiest ones to do. It does take a long bit of time, but for the most part, you're relatively safe. You don't have to fight anything, blow anything up, or any of that kind of crap. So, where are you at, buddy? Ah, there you are. So, let's flip up and over here. See if we can pick him up. There we go. Pick up the next beacon. And marked on the map, of course. Ooh. Well, that one's starting to get a little bit out there ways. So we should be getting relatively close. We probably got maybe 3 to 4 more jumps. And like I said, I'm doing it in this ship is relatively quick. You're going to be doing it in maybe, even if you're doing it in a Trinium Nanonite, you got to have something that's got some decent jump cores, or you got to have the system components. You got to have these components. I have these ones a jump range of 20. This one's a jump range of 20 with a huge cooldown. So these are huge. That's another range. So these 3 are jump ranges of puts me at 60, right? And if you throw this one in here, that's another 3 there, plus all the hyperspace cores I have on this ship. So yeah, I can jump a lot of distance, but if you're going to be doing it with just be prepared for a very long fucking jaunt out here to the edge of the galaxy to pick up the very first artifact that you need to open the gate. So, there we go, jump route calculated, and we can jump out of here. Oh, about time. I was kind of guessing when these guys were going to eventually show up. the Xsotan. You're going to run into these guys at least once. On the way out here, let's pull out here till we find him. Ah, there he is. And luckily they're far enough away you actually won't have to deal with them. You could probably just pick up this and just simply run until you're far enough away. I swear to fucking God. Why do you gotta be so hard? Maybe because you can't really see it in this frickin'... There we go, come on. I know it's fucking there. There we go. Finally! Why does it gotta be so hard? So, picked up the next one. Let's go to... Oh, relatively close. This might be the end right here. We might get lucky. That was a big jump followed by a short jump. Yeah, those guys are too far away to do anything even anyway if they wanted to. So, back at the next one. One more jump here. We'll jump out to the next... The last. Hopefully this is the last one. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it's right here. Sometimes it's right over here. Kind of depends on what the game's doing. Or they could be just fucking with me, and I'll jump there and be like, well, no, you got another mission to do, or another jump point to do. But whatever. Let's see here. Yep, there we go. Jump calculated. Jump into the next spot. So like I said, oh, they fucked with me. God damn it. But yeah, if you want to really, like I said, if you really want to, for the most part, to do this, I would suggest make sure you have a pretty decent ship, at least for travel-wise, or you get one built, purposely built, to do this, because this is going to take, like I said, literally forever if you don't have the right jump range, cooldown, and all that kind of stuff. So maybe if you would work a little bit on your components and that kind of stuff before you do this. What the fuck? I swear I'm having a fuck of a time today. Oops. There we go. Okay, 415, 440. I gotta be getting close here, fellas. We're off into the final sector here on this, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Like I said, unless you purpose built your ship to do it, you know, you can do this with, and but you have to make sure, for the most part, you have to be able to get down into the Neonite is where the first place you start picking up here. You're gonna have to wait here to start getting Neonite hypercore. This, of course, will extend your hyperspace. Yeah, so I have hyperspace of 75. This ship right here doesn't have a whole lot of hyperspace core on it because I was trying to build to get the processing power up to get the 15 systems. However, I do have a ship that does have a fair amount of hyperspace core, and you can put up, I believe, up to 20. Let's see here. So if I wanted to add a hyperspace core here, and see, that's the size you would need just to get a 23.8. You would add to it, you know. So this is 20. So you have to have a pretty good sized chunk of hyperspace core. That's over, what is that? 1 million Neonite to build a hyperspace core to get that 15 extra sectors. A lot of times, like I said, it's just better simply to use the system part of it. Whoops. The system part of it. You can pick up relatively decent ones at about the green and blue levels. You'll start picking them up. That'll give you, you know, +2, you know, that kind of thing. And since you can now manually or put these on forever, you know, you can use these to get you +3. You know, you get a 6 to 8 system upgrade cruiser or whatever you're going to be building, and you can probably get your jump out to about 20 to 25, which would be about right. I mean, it's still going to take you a long fucking time to do this. This is one of those missions. It's just like, it's kind of like an escort mission in some stupid, other game where escort the bombers, right? It's just mind-numbingly dumb doing it, because it's just like a. Right. Well, I shouldn't even say it's not. No, it's not really like that, but you know what I'm saying? It's just mind-numbingly boring to do this, having to jump sector to sector to sector until I'm able to find this one stupid deal. And like I said, I'm doing this with an end game ship, doing it anywhere else. I mean, doing it back in the way I did it the first time was just ridiculous. So we're still not to the end of the... maybe this is the one. Apparently I didn't even need to... Apparently I don't even need to interact with this stupid thing anymore. I should have been looking at that earlier. It's been a while since I did this mission. I thought you always had to interact with it. But apparently you don't. Yeah, 4th, 5th, 58 to 430. So fellas, you don't have to fuck with the... You don't even have to talk to the stupid thing anymore. I guess that shows you how long it's been since I've did this. Yeah, let's see here. Let's jump out here. We're almost to... Hopefully, this is going to be the last one. Maybe we'll have one more. Like I said, that literally takes you halfway across the galaxy. Now, this mission, if you're down here, once again, it's not too bad. By the time you find some gates and that kind of stuff, or wormholes, a lot of times you can jump through some of this and not have to deal with it. So, let's see if we're to the one, I hope, maybe, possibly. There we go. And I don't think... Did it give me another one? Nope, we are here! Finally! So now let's interact with the final... And this is what... So now this is a communication beacon, and you see all the wrecked ships. This is usually pretty much the indication that you are at the ass end of this project. So let's interact. So, establish connection. Yes. Static noise. Yes. Continue, yes, continue. Is this thing working? Fuck, what the hell? Who is this? Operation Exodus, yes. Continue, yes. And, well, and no. I don't understand. Our ancestors did it. Your ancestors took place more than 100 years ago. Who are you? The Hati. They used to live near the center of the galaxy. Then you can ask about it. This kind of, if you do it early on and you didn't really understand what was the whole part of the point of this game, this is kind of gives you the story of it. So blah blah blah. So here we are. So you can ask all kinds of things. Special questions here. If you really want to go through it, and like I said, there's going to be a bunch of different things you can ask them. And if you want to read it, go ahead. For most part, so here's one that we dumped out at the artifacts from wreckage near you. You have to look around. So once you got that part of it, then you can just tell them I've got to go. Of course, you can start this conversation with them anytime you want. And now what we're doing here is start looking for the glowing purple thing. Everything that's purple is legendary. And looky, there we are. Right next to here. See the little purple thingy right there? And you can, if you zoom out a little bit, a lot of times you can pick up that kind of color. Yeah, see there, you can see the purple. Yeah, so it might be easier if you want to do that, trying to find this thing. But it should be floating around with some wreckage relatively close to you. And once you find it, then it's just a matter of, okay, so there's Mr. Little Purple that I want. And we're just going to kind of nudge up here. And we're going to see what it looks like, right? There's the first artifact that you need to find in this game. There we go. So, mission accomplished. Legendary. Let's go to the ship menu and we can look at it, what it looks like. It's just going to be essentially a single scratch. Where is it? There's 7. Here we go. This is K1. These artifacts seem to function as some kind of ancient key. Once you install it, of course, you can use it for. I'll show you a little later what I'm talking about when you find some ancient gates and that kind of stuff. So what is this? This is 138,000 titanium. We're definitely going to mine this because I always like titanium. So let's drop the fighters off. And for that part, we are done. Thanks for watching, guys. This is the Project Exodus, the end of it, how to find it, how to get to it, how to do all that bullshit. So thanks for watching, guys.